In August, a 20-year-old man was stabbed at a gas station on the Omaha Reservation in Macy, Nebraska. That man, Gilberto Avila, died of his injuries. His family and friends came together tonight on what would have been his 21st birthday for a candlelight vigil and to voice their frustrations with the handling of the investigation into his death. Here's KTIV's Connor Trett.
Family and friends of Gilberto Avila celebrate his 21st birthday, 4 months after he was fatally stabbed.
He had so much to live for. He had a baby on the way that's going to be born soon in a couple weeks. And we just think it's really important for people to know his name and what happened so he can get his justice. I'm really sad, but at the same time I'm really happy because my brother, he was so excited for his 21st birthday. He was so happy, and I know he wouldn't want us to be sad at all.
Many gathered at a local church for Avila's birthday celebration, then went to the C-store in Macy to hold a candlelight vigil in the place where Avila was stabbed.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with the energy that we leave behind, and a lot of community people utilize that building. When you utilize that space and you're coming around where violence might have happened, so I think making a prayer, go in there with an intention, something good, might wash away some of that negativity.
Avila's family is asking for trust responsibility from the federal government to be upheld. Trust responsibility grants the federal government jurisdiction over 7 major crimes committed involving a Native American party, including murder, manslaughter, and assault with intent to kill.
They're asking for further investigation. This happened in August, so I don't see why this hasn't been picked up by the federal government just yet. But what the family's calling upon is those trust responsibilities to be initiated in the pursuit of justice.
Avila's younger sister, Rosalani, says the family is frustrated.
He just died in a really unjust, unfair way, and his killer is out free, we heard, and he's out on house arrest. We just think it's really unfair because my brother's life was taken from him. We hope things can change, that the person who did it can go back and serve his time, because why can he walk free and my brother's in the ground?
In Macy, Nebraska, Connor Trett, KTIV News 4.
Back in August, a spokesperson for the FBI said agents were involved in a joint investigation with Omaha Nation Tribal Police into Avila's death. But because it was an ongoing investigation, the FBI said it couldn't comment any further on the case.